let's go into a little bit about lamellar hole epiretinal proliferation, LHEP. So in introduction, just a brief, lamellar hole associated epiretinal proliferation, I would henceforth call it as LHEP, is defined on OCT as a thick homogeneous material of medium reflectivity on the epiretinal surface. So the LHEP material is typically contiguous with the middle retinal layers. So there are different composition and properties. Some thought that it is due to the Muller cells that go on to the epiretinal membrane, and they try to look into the glutamine synthetase as a Muller cell specific enzyme, and the presence of glutamine synthetase clone 6 found in LHEP is highly specific for Muller cell. Parolini et al. Suggested that it's a premacular vitreous remodeling as a potential causative mechanism. So lamellar macular holes with LHEP contain cells of positive immunoreactivity. It is postulated that LHEP may have origins from the vitreous. As we all know, the myofibroblasts dominate mainly in the highly refractive membranes, that is the epiretinal membranes, whereas the medium reflectivity consists of mainly the fibroblast and the hyalocytes, that is the epiretinal proliferation. So this is one done by Sun et al., who had showed that the LHEP has a yellow color as it is removed from the macula during vitrectomy. Shiraga et al. Concluded that it contained a luteal pigment, and she also speculated that a portion of the retinal tissue would migrate along the posterior hyaloid face, forming the ERM with macular pigments. So this is how the LHEP looks like. It's a small hyperreflective membrane here, and larger tissue defects, disruption of the ellipsoid zone, and poorer mean visual acuity than lamellar holes without LHEP, that is with tractional ERMs. So this is another representative case where it's not just when you cut at the section of the hole, but also it's a large area which covers along here. I will show it in the next slide. So the blue reflectance is actually the image where we can know about this LHEP apart from OCT. If you look into these color photograph, the multimodal false color image, the red reflectance image, we are not able to make out the LHEP, but OCT definitely yes. This is the blue reflectance where you can see dark area and surrounding another dark area. So this is the area of the LHEP which can clearly be made out by the blue reflectance only. So clinical significance, what do the studies say? In a recent OCT study, the presence of LHEP was shown to be related to the presence of photoreceptor layer defects and poor visual acuity. And they found out in their 145 cases, the mean logMAR visual acuity in eyes with LHEP was 0.51, which was significantly poorer than in eyes without LHEP. And a higher proportion of eyes with LHEP had ellipsoid zone disruption as compared to the eyes without LHEP. However, in contrast to this study, where they said that the presence of LHEP does not seem to influence the natural course of the disease and the response to the surgery. And they concluded that in eyes with LMS, presence of LHEP without any trace of standard ERM is rare. The presence of LHEP does not seem to influence the natural course of the disease and response to the surgery. So another study done by Ribaldi et al. Also presented that, that there is an ellipsoid zone defects, and definitely there is a larger horizontal diameter in these. As we go on progressing in the later, we see these patients in the later stages. So LMH with LHEP showed different anatomical appearances of hole compared to those without LHEP, and a larger dimension of the retinal defect at the mid-retinal layer, and a very thin residual thickness were found according to the recent publication done in April 2018 by Choi et al. They also said this is the differences they showed, where the LHEP with ERM, they have shown that there is a preservance of the ellipsoid zone, but whereas in this, this is without LHEP, and this slide with LHEP, you can see there is disruption of the ellipsoid zone in these cases. So LHEP, they have also said that can be associated with FTMH, full thickness macular hole. In another study done by Sun et al., they have claimed it not as LHEP with FTMH, but EPMH, that is epiretinal proliferation associated with macular hole. I'm just going to show some of our cases which I could get. So this is a small LHEP. You can see here in this case a large macular hole of 677 micron. You can see a wonderful type 1 closure, but definitely you can see there is a disruption of the ellipsoid zone. In another case, you can identify the LHEP here on these both the ends. There is again a perfect type 1 closure, but there is an ellipsoid zone defect in this case too. So this is another case, mother-in-law of a surgeon. whom we operated, when I saw that there has a small epiretinal proliferation, here you can see when I take a section down, you can see at the edge here. And this is what similar as compared to Compera et al. Have shown that around the macular hole you contain these yellowish material or the membrane. So I'll just show a video of how we deal with these LHEPs. This is a case which I operated with the epiretinal membrane. So when I tried to peel these epiretinal membrane slowly, I thought it would come off easily like any other ERM with MAC hole surgery. I try to use intraop OCT in my cases of macular hole, and with the present Ngenuity it gives an overlay which is very good. So here if you see, when I tried to peel it, I thought I could get it off, but unfortunately it was so adherently attached to the edges of the hole, I thought I could do more damage or iatrogenic damage by pulling it off. So that is when I used a cutter, shaved it off, and then I just did a ILM peeling in this case. And you can see there's a perfect type 1 closure, and interestingly there is also an ellipsoid zone defect was not seen in this case. Probably the patient had come earlier, just 8 days post macular hole, when she had a diminution of vision. So surgical approach similarly has been mentioned in the studies as well, and they said that use a diamond dusted silicone tip is used to gently engage the LHEP tissue from the periphery and brush it towards the center of the fovea. And the tissue with the fovea they have described should be left instead of taking it off, and or can be shaved from the margins of the fovea. After peeling the epiretinal proliferation, ILM is stained and peeled. So this is the last study which I am going to show, has shown that the central retinal thickness was 141 at the baseline, and when they started doing the follow-up, they could see that the central retinal thickness started coming down and down, and they also found significant increase in the area of LHEP, and along with the significantly increase in the ellipsoid zone disruption as well. So we need to especially see these cases of LHEP. Progressively we need to monitor, because they might have a larger horizontal diameter hole defect along with the ellipsoid zone disruption. So probably at this juncture where you have to jump in and do the surgeries. This is January 2013 and September 2016 where they have shown. My last slide is differences between LHEP and ERM. LHEP contains the glial cells, hyelocytes and the fibroblast, whereas the ERM contains only the myofibroblast. And LHEP has a larger defect of ellipsoid zone degeneration, whereas the ellipsoid zone may be intact in most of the cases of the epiretinal membrane. Thank you very much for patient listening.